Okay, everyone, so I told you when I got home I was going to show you what I'm reading and the books that I plan on reading soon. I'm reading The Day After the Dollar Crashes by Damon Vickers. I'm about halfway through it. It also talks about the rise of the New World Order. It's a pretty good book. Some chapters I like better than others, but it has some good information. I'm also reading Aftershock, Protect Yourself and Profit in the Next Global Financial Meltdown, revised and updated. Now the authors, this is from last year. I just found it at the bookstore. The authors David Whittemore and Robert Whittemore and Cindy Spitzer wrote a book that I read in 2006. And this book has a lot of great information in it. They're saying that the dollar and the government debt bubble and the dollar bubble are two of the 6 bubbles that they said in their 2006 book, America's Bubble Economy, Profit When It Pops. I read that in 2006, which they actually wrote, I think, the end of '04, early '05. And they claim that there's 6 bubbles. You know, there's all these bubbles going to be popping and, you know, taking each other down as they're all popping. And 4 of them have popped. They're saying that they accurately predicted the popping of the real estate bubble, the collapse of the private debt bubble, the fall of the stock market bubble, and the decline of consumer spending, and the widespread pain all this was about to inflict on the rest of our vulnerable multi-bubble economy. So they also predicted the eventual bursting of the dollar bubble and government debt bubble, which this book here is really about. So it kind of picks up, I guess there was a first edition Aftershock from a couple years, probably '09 or 2010, I didn't read. But when I saw this, I knew I would like it because I learned a lot from this book in 2006. They laid out a lot of what happened. And so I'm learning a lot from this book. This is highly recommended here. I also read Crash Proof, How to Profit from the Coming Economic Collapse, Peter Schiff's book. I read that in '07. He laid out a lot of what was, happened in 2008. A lot of good information in that. And then he came out with an updated one. It's the same book reprinted with a bunch of pages that are added into each chapter. This one wasn't as good as the first one, but it had some good information. And Peter's How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes is like a children's book, really good for your kids. Demise of the Dollar I read, which is a good book. Collapse of the Dollar, Coming Economic Collapse, The Dollar Meltdown. So, I'm pretty well versed in the problems with the dollar. Coming crash in the housing market. I was talking to people about that, and they just didn't want to believe it. I think that's what's happening now with thinking about a dollar collapse or economic collapse in general, or how the government debt bubble could pop. People just don't want to think about it. I mean, they didn't want to think about their houses falling in value, so people believe what they want to believe, and they didn't want to believe in this. But books like this, they just laid it out. They laid out what was coming and what actually happened. I have another one. I don't see it here, but I have another book that's like Housing Bust or something. I read them in here it is. How to Profit from the Coming Real Estate Bust. John Rubino, that was written. Real quick, I wanted to show you a couple of books I want to get that I don't have yet. And this isn't like real happy time reading. It's just the way it is. I mean, a lot of people, they don't even know about this type of information, but to read so many books about it, it's so obvious what we're heading towards. And to me, owning precious metals is just common sense with all this information that I've been reading over the past 6 years. Paper Money Collapse by Detlef Schlitzer. I did a video on him a couple weeks ago. You can look at my list of videos on my channel if you want. I really want to read this, so I'm going to have to get this. The Folly of Elastic Money and the Coming Monetary Breakdown. And then the Golden Revolution, how to prepare for the coming global gold standard. I've listened to a couple interviews from the author of this, John Butler, and really interesting stuff. So anyway, that's what I plan on reading soon, and that's some of the stuff that I've been reading. I hope maybe I give some of you some ideas, some stuff that you might want to check out. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.